Wait, Mom.
What?
I researched this painting for the junior docent program here at the Art Museum.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What else did you have to do with that?
We had to write a speech and recreate it.
Oh, neat. I like this painting.
I learned that it was made in 1903 in France.
Wow. Did you have to do anything else with it? Just write about it?
And then we had to present our speech and our recreation of it at the Art Museum.
Oh, you had to make a copy of the painting? You created it?
Yeah.
Cool. Those bridges back there and buildings?
Yep.
I like how the water is, with the sun on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Did you like learning about this?
Yeah.
Good. Very nice. Should we go on?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's check this one out. Okay. All right, what's going on in this painting? Who's got some ideas?
It's the sun setting and people are on some boats in the background.
Okay, all right. What else we got?
Well, it looks like some machinery back there in the background.
Why do you say machinery?
Because it looks like it's like a factory
What part of it looks like a factory, do you think?
in the background.
Okay, all right. Are you talking like the long things?
Yep.
Maybe like the pipes or something?
Yep.
Okay, all right. What do you think?
Well, I think it might be like a cloudy day where there's a lot of smoke.
Cloudy, smoke. What time of day? Is this like,
Like in the afternoon.
why do you say that?
Well, because everything's like a little dark and a little light, and then it's kind of like...
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Totally. A little dark. We got a little dark over here, right? We got a little light over there. You said there was somebody. You said a boat, right? Where's the boat?
Back there you can see kind of by the sunrise, that, and then those thing, and then that there.
Are you saying up here?
Down
Down there.
there.
Well, it's interesting. There. You know what I see, and it's kind of hard to tell exactly, right? Does this look like a photograph? Like a picture?
Not really.
Not really. Why not? Why not?
Because it looks like someone actually painted it.
Right, it looks like somebody actually painted it. And like down there in that light spot, does that look like a boat?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think, we have some of these in Milwaukee. What do you think this thing is that cuts straight across the middle? Oh, what is it?
I think it's a bridge where there's a whole bunch of cars because there's bright stuff and some dark stuff.
Okay, all right.
Those are the colors of cars.
They are kind of the colors of cars. There's all sorts of different colors going on. You know, one of the things that this artist did, which is he did a lot of funky things at the time. Now we look at this artist and we think, wow, he's so awesome, he's beautiful. But at the time, they're like, this guy is weird. What is up with him? But one of the things he did is he almost never used the color black. So it's all just color, but it's all kind of blurred together, right? And I'm not sure that those are cars because he painted quite a while ago. But I think you're right. I think that is a bridge. And yeah, I think it's interesting to me, this because we see the sun up here, but not over there. So I think you're right that it's not the middle of the day, maybe sunrise, maybe sunset, I don't know. And what you were saying, the factories back there, you know what I think's going on is it's smoky, it's pollution, right? These pipes back there, you can see the one pipe is just like belching out smoke. Yeah, exactly. So I think that it might be kind of a combination of like a foggy day and kind of a smoky day, and I think it's pretty awesome. And I like the way, like, what does this stuff look like down here?
Looks like water.
Right, but if you close your eyes and somebody says, what color is water, what do you say?
Blue.
Is that blue?
No.
No, it isn't, is it? He threw in all sorts of different colors, and yet it looks exactly like water. Yeah. Like we are totally buying that that is water. And something cool about this kind of a painting, in a museum you never can get too close, but it is kind of cool to get closer and look at it and see kind of really what he saw when he was painting it, and then back it up a bit. And it gives it a whole different feel. So, all right, we good?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go over it this way now.
What about this one?
Well, what are some things you think some projects we can think about to do with the kids?
Well, I guess it depends on which class. Maybe with a summer camp, I'm imagining we could even do something like go outside. But maybe before we get to that point, if we're in the galleries, maybe we could start with something like gathering around the piece and saying, how do you think this was made?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, I don't know, what direction do you think we could take that question?
Maybe we can talk about the colors, or maybe the paint application.
That could work. Maybe kind of getting into the colors, getting kids to identify the colors, imagining how they were put onto the surface.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
I think maybe also we could go in from talking about colors to not just how the artist created with materials, but how he actually made it, like the whole environment, talking about how he was outside while looking at this piece.
Yeah, he was actually there. He was maybe sitting down, or he was at an easel. And that's maybe we can bring out some easels outside.
Yeah, and talk about what time of day do you think this painting was created? What time of day is it now? How will our painting look different?
Okay.
I don't know, where do you think we should set up?
Maybe we can do it out on the lawn, take a look at the lake.
The lake could be nice with a similar subject matter and helping kids think about, well, how does this painting relate to their own experience? So we could talk about the lake. I don't know, what do you think about different ways we could face when we're out there?
This painting actually really reminds me of the Milwaukee landscape, looking south, looking at the Hone Bridge and the smokestacks. What about that?
I think that could work. And we could also talk about composition, how putting the lake, maybe Lake Michigan, is a fair amount of the composition, clouds is the top half, and then sort of some element of building in there as well.
Okay.
I don't know, for materials, I love the idea of easels outside and everybody standing outside and just imagining what the artist was thinking and even feeling, like being right out there with the wind changing, the light quality changing.
How long do you think it took him to make this?
I think that's a great question that we could ask the kids, get them to imagine it, and if
Sure.
also maybe talking about if something takes a short amount of time, does it make it less special than something that takes a long amount of time?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
And how much time do we need to make something?
Yeah.
Should we take extra paper out there? You know, how many paintings can you make? Even though we might only be outside for an hour, maybe we could think about how the light changes in that amount of time.
Okay.
So
Should we maybe go outside and check it out?
I think that sounds great.
All right.
All right, guys, so let's take a look at this work. And I want to take a quick moment to quietly look individually at the painting, and then we'll come together and talk about it. Ready?
Okay.
All right, so I want to open it up to any thoughts, comments, ideas about this work.
I love the texture of it the most, like the clouds in the sky, especially just like how the colors are pushed and like pulled in certain directions, and there's no smoothing of the paint or anything.
Yeah, there's really something about the way that this painter puts color onto the canvas, right? And the way that we can see the strokes, the brush, almost like we can see the artist's hand in the painting itself, definitely.
The biggest thing for me is definitely like the contrast between the two sides, where the one is kind of more like demure and blue, and then there's just an explosion of color on the other side.
Definitely, yeah. It's almost like that push and pull that you were talking about also extends to the colors and the contrast between the two sides of the painting too. Yeah, definitely.
I think what stands out to me the most is the fact that the colors that are being used, like for there's no roughness to it. Like instead of incorporating a black, there's more of like darker colors to indicate shadows and to create depth without really taking away from the smoothness and softness of the piece.
Definitely, and this artist actually didn't use the color black when he painted. So that was a great observation to note that he does all of those shadows and all of the depth of the painting by color, completely by color.
And there aren't any really like dramatic colors in it. It's not like any bright reds or greens or anything. It's all kind of mixed and muted.
What colors do we see? Should we take a closer look at the different kinds of colors that are in the painting?
A lot.
Yeah, when you start looking, there's a lot in there, definitely.
There's a lot of blue, of course, and then there's also a little olive down in that corner. But then,
So there is a little green.
but it's not like bright, like
Right,
Crayola green.
absolutely, yes, yeah.
I see like magentas and oranges.
Up in the sky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like really there's ranges from like pinks to like pale
Yeah.
pinks.
Yeah.
And then there's orange and yellow down in the water.
Yeah, kind of from the reflection of the sky almost that comes in there.
It still manages to capture the essence of the cityscape without being like too forefront with it, you know, like too. It doesn't give it away. It's like it's the city, but it's capturing more so the essence of.
Yeah, there's a subtlety to it, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. There's this subtlety, and he doesn't hit you over the head with it. He's letting you kind of absorb the feeling, almost that essence of this place. Yeah.
It's really organic too. Like even the buildings aren't like square, perfect rectangles. They're very like earthy shapes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of harsh edges. Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the technique too, the way that the brush stroke was laid down. It's supported by that. Yeah, definitely.
I love how you can not really even see the cityscape in the back. You can just barely make out the factories, and it seems like it just reminds me, maybe it's like he painted it sometime after it rained and the sun's coming out, or maybe it's like early in the morning or something.
Yeah, so the way that the colors and the light, all this comes together, and we start to think about what time of day it was, and even the weather of when it was painted. And I wonder if some of that subtlety that we were talking about, they kind of work together, right? That noticing the weather, the reflection, the light, the colors, all of that kind of comes together to create this feeling that's very subtle. But we definitely get a feel for this moment in the city. We can kind of even pinpoint exactly when that moment is, but he's not, telling us, he's showing us. Yeah. Does this feel like a good place to end?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. Should we go look at another painting?
Sure.
All right.
Well, here we have one of my favorite paintings. And, you know, it's so beautiful. It's the color and how the artist has used the color. And I think it's also, you know, the first question you say is, what time of day is this? It's very cleverly done because you don't know if it's sundown or sunset. Is that smog? Is it fog? Is it early morning, clear your throat time? And I think it's early morning because I had the privilege of being able to go and see where he painted this in a hotel in London, in the Savoy. And I was told when I was a student that I could go in and see the room and see the view. And I lucked out, and the room was empty, so they took me in, and I stood in the very spot where he painted this. So knowing I was on the north side of the Thames, I knew this was an early morning sunrise. And how he's captured the movement of the water, the waves that are never still, and introduced so many beautiful colors. And I try to look for this when I look at water. Lake Michigan, up in the northern woods. Water is fun to watch, and it mesmerizes you. And I think that's what this painting does. It grabs you with its luscious color, purples and pinks and yellows. And you know, when you're doing atmospheric conditions and you're using your optical vision, your eye sees all the colors in the rainbow. It's not just the sky is blue, the grass is green. No, no, no. It's full of color. And we have little magic computers that transfer and translate for us. You can see the bridge, the smokestacks. The more you look, the more you see, and the more you say, wow, he really captured, it's almost not only an impression of a moment in a day, but it's a moment of life. Okay, well, let's go over here.
All right, let's take a look at this painting here, you guys, and position yourself so that you can actually see the painting, so that when you're looking at it, then you'll be able, drawing it, you'll be able to see what it looks like. Why don't you can come right here, come on right over, and you can turn around and look at the painting. And I'm going to hand everybody a little bit of a surface to draw on and some paper. And when you guys are looking at the drawing, you can even turn and point your body right towards the painting. Tell me about the colors in this work of art. Go ahead.
Blue.
There's a lot of blue in there. Isn't there a lot of purpley blues? And then what I like about this part that comes over in the side here is it just looks like there's some kind of light coming from that way. So see if in your drawings you can figure out how to make it have some light with the color. So here's a bunch of different options for you guys. There's some regular pencils and some colored pencils and some little crayons and some pastel type things. Yep, absolutely.
Little pastel.
Yeah, they're like a nice crayon. I think you'll really like them. And there's a regular pencil here too if you want to try that. And I can see that Kiara's already got a horizon line in there that's going to help her understand where that sky meets that water, and there's where that bridge is there.
I'm making the sky blue.
Oh, I love that idea.
That's part of my bridge.
Great, perfect. And there's all kinds of blues in here too. Bluey green, purple. You know, if you want to use any of those, you could try some of those to see if you can get that cool. I don't know, I think it's sort of a bluish purple. I'm going to call it periwinkle because it's kind of a blue mix between a blue and a purple. Where are you starting, Lily?
on the reflection
You
of
went-
the sun.
You went right for that reflection. That sounds great, starting with your yellow. And if you want to add anything to that, there's some orange. Ooh, this might be a good one to add. Is there any of this in there? This pink color? That might be kind of a nice one to get in there.
Like on the bridge.
Yeah, I do see some of that in the back of the bridge.
I'm gonna make them clouds.
Oh, good. Yes. Definitely need the clouds. Some of the clouds seem like they're from the sky, and some of them maybe seem like they're from the factories back there, the smoke. You getting a little shading in there underneath the bridge there, Simon? Nice, really nice. And what about you? What are you starting with?
I'm starting with the water.
With the water.
First I made these. First I made that.
I think that's a great place to start. And I like that you all kind of started from a different place in the painting. You were drawn to a different place in the painting. That's great. You're making water next. And just tell me if you guys need any of these supplies. We can pass them around so you've got plenty to use. I think I'm going to draw something too. I can't resist.
I need yellow.
You know me. You need yellow. Does anyone have a yellow? Is there a yellow? Oh, here's one. Is that going to work for you? A yellow pencil?
Yeah.
Great.
Actually need a yellow for here.
Do you think this artist started with a pencil on their canvas?
No.
No? You don't think so? You maybe? It's very...
Looks like it.
What did you say?
The border.
Oh, okay. So maybe just to sort of set up what size the painting was going to be.
And I see some little flags.
Some little flags. Up
So
top,
I'm
maybe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use a black.
Okay, go for it.
A line, yellow, and then another line right here.
That looks just like the painting that we're looking at. That's great. Did you guys notice the little travelers there in the corner in that reflection? Are you going to add some boaters or kayakers to yours? Or are you going to? Oh, nice. Very nice.
I'm gonna like put the boat
That's in there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put like all orange, yellowish in there.
That's a great
For the
idea.
sunlight, sort of.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I love it that this is all so purpley blue, and then that bit of yellow coming in there really makes that boat stand out. That's great.
Seats.
Let's see. There's a lot of people can fit on that boat. That's awesome. Well, that's nice too, your buildings. I gotta get my bridge in there.
Okay, it went all the way down here.
I wonder what.
That is a lot of good spots.
And there's another one.
The moon right here.
Who are you gonna take on that boat ride? Who's gonna go with you? Are you gonna go on that boat ride?
I'm gonna take my family.
Oh, that's nice. It'd be fun to go on a boat ride with your family.
There's the moon. I made a moon.
Do you feel like this painting as I'm looking at it and I'm drawing it, it feels really quiet to me? Do you guys think it feels quiet, or do you think it's really loud?
It might be like really noisy because it might be really noisy and
Okay, now I'm gonna make my.
You think it could be noisy and loud?
because there's smoke and a whole bunch of cars.
I'm gonna make a.
Oh, okay. I can see that. I didn't think about that might make noise in the background. Oh, a moon?
Just like my brother did.
Oh, great. What color is your moon going to be? Is it going to be white? You're going to color it in.
There. Okay, now I'm gonna
I
pick.
wonder if there's an orange in here.
I'm gonna.
There is orange in there, I know for sure. So if you want to do
I'm gonna
that.
color this red.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
So boys and girls, why don't you take just a few more minutes to get some of that major information down, and then we can head back up to the classroom and finish coloring these in. Make sure you get all the important spots down on your paper from this work of art.
Okay, now I'm gonna make my family.
Okay, good.
Me.
I think I need to get my boat on here first so I remember where to put it.
have long arms. Here's my brother. Here's my baby.
Is anybody special in the boat, or are you just drawing general boaters?
Special in my boat. Everybody's special in my boat.
Oh, well, your family's special, so that's good to have all those people in the boat. All right, you guys, I think that we'll gather up materials and then we'll finish these in a bit. These are really great starts. It's awesome.
I'm almost done with mine.
You think you're almost done with yours? I think you're getting pretty close. All right.
I'm almost done too.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll pick this up.
I need a pencil.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Let's go this way. That was really awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
This is 203. Be right there.
I think this painting is exciting for me to think about using and working with children, because paintings by this artist I can remember looking at when I was a child, and this painter being one of the first artists that I could recognize. And I can remember seeing paintings in books, as a young adult seeing them in museums for the first time, and then later as a college student actually seeing some of the spaces in France that this artist painted and being really excited to feel like I was standing in that spot. And also when I look at this, I think that for the time it was very forward thinking, and that's something I like to think about in my own work, how I don't want to settle on the first or easiest solution, and I always want to try to be experimenting.
Come on. Hey, look at this painting. What do you see there?
Looks like a diamond in the sky, and then it's on the water, and the diamond reflecting on the water, and the water's turning yellow.
Yeah, that's a really interesting color, yellow, isn't it? It's got some mustard in there and some different dots. I mean, there's a lot of different colors in that water, aren't there?
Yeah.
What else do you see in the water? Anything?
I see two people canoeing.
Yeah, they're coming. They're going, right? They're going somewhere?
And I see a submarine.
Where, over here?
Kind of looks like a submarine over there.
Oh yeah, there's those lights that are there, the 3 lights. I love it how this blue comes in at the bottom and then there's this green over here. So the colors are all working in a really interesting way.
I see some kind of turquoise over there.
Yeah, right in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, could that be really deep water?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then what do you think's going on in the sky? It's red and it's white, there are some circles.
Yeah, it looks like over there, it kind of looks like there's smoke and maybe there's factories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those could be factories. It's hard to say what's in the distance. There could be
If you could kind of make out a shape of another submarine over there.
I'm thinking maybe that there's a city there too, or even mountains. It's so hard to tell what's beyond the field. I mean, that red is really powerful. It could be anything going on there, right?
Yeah.
Could be the heat of a city. And then all that red you're saying is reflected in the yellow down there?
Yeah. Then you can kind of see some of the red in the water.
Yeah, there's little red flecks.
Yeah.
Do you see different color reds?
Yeah, some were darker and some were kind of pinkish reds.
That's interesting. Are they the same reds up there as they are down there?
The red up there is kind of orangish.
Yeah, it's a little different, right?
Yeah. That's more darkish red and that's orange.
There's a lot of colors in here, right?
Yeah, I see purple, I see blue, I see some green and orange and red.
I know, it's almost like fall, right?
Yeah.
When you see all those harvest colors at the top. But then I see also flesh colors too. It's almost like makeup. So that's a really powerful part of the painting, right?
Yeah.
Maybe is he saying the sun, or are they saying the sun is going there?
Yeah, maybe.
Or the nighttime sky, maybe?
Maybe if it was night, then that would be the moon reflecting.
Oh, that's a great idea. I really see the moon now. That kind of bright light that a moon gives.
Yeah, and up there it's kind of like yellowish, and that kind of maybe looks like the moon.
Yeah. So is it nighttime?
Maybe. I think so.
I think so. I mean, that blue is so rich. It could be could be midnight.
Yeah.
Or twilight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to go get some lunch?
Sure.
All right.
Okay guys, today we're going to look at this painting and read a story about the artist that made it. So have a seat and I'll begin. "I wish we had a garden," said Julie. She looked down at the drab river which ran through the city. Even her dog Louie was bored with being inside. "As soon as I have finished this painting," said her mother, "I'll take you on a journey to the most wonderful garden in the world." They took a big black train beside the twisting river far out of the city. And they went into the countryside. Louie the dog began to run down the hill and into a lane where a huge wall stood around a mysterious garden. "Stop, Louie," called Julie. But it was too late. Louie had gone. Julie didn't know what to do. She got down on her hands and knees and wriggled inside. It was like crawling into a dreamy world where twisty plants grew tall as trees. Julie ran around a corner and almost knocked over a big man with a shovel. The man wore a straw hat and had a huge white beard. "Oh," said Julie, "I'm looking for my dog. Are you the gardener?" "I suppose I am," said the man. "Come and look." One day, tiny seedlings will grow into big flowers, but a gardener has to be very patient, just like a painter. Then Julie realized, "You're the artist that lives here." "Yes," said the man, "I am the artist." Together they searched for Louie, along the shady path, deeper and deeper into the magical garden until it seemed as if they had left the real world behind. Under a willow, Julie saw the artist's umbrella, like a huge white mushroom. And there was Louie. He had a blue nose, a purple ear, and one green paw. What do you think happened? How did he get the paws with color on them?
Paint.
Do you think he landed in some paint? Let's find out. "Naughty dog," shouted Julie. "You've walked all over one of the paintings." "I think your dog wants to be a painter. Look, he's made a picture too." Then Julie saw a painting laid out in the sun to dry. There was one with clouds floating on a mirror pond, a field of golden haystacks, a row of wispy poplars, and a little Japanese bridge. The brush marks glowed like flowers in a garden. They turned the handle on a rickety gate and stepped inside. It was like a garden inside a garden, a wild, wet, watery garden where willows bowed over a silent pond. Together, they crossed the green bridge. And they floated across the pond in a rowboat. Julie heard the splash of the oars and the birds calling in the trees all around them like it sparkled like midnight sky. When they reached the very middle of the pool, the artist stretched out into the dark water and pulled out one of the flowers. The biggest lily of all, as bright as a silver star. A little present from my water garden, he said. They walked back towards the house, and the artist pushed open a huge studio door. Here is my biggest idea of all, he said proudly. I am trying to paint the most enormous water garden in the world. When you stand in the middle, you will feel as if you have dived into a pool. It will be amazing, said Julie. For a moment, the painter looked sad. But to tell you the truth, I wonder if I will ever finish it. He said, I'm old now and my eyesight is bad. Julie thought for a moment. Well, you will need to be very patient, she said, just like a gardener. Yes, he smelled just like a gardener. Then the artist pulled out a big watch. 6 o'clock precisely, he said, time to eat. Waiting in the yellow dining room, surrounded by pictures from Japan, sat the artist's wife and Julie's mother. Here are the little runaways. Then it was time to leave. They all walked as far as the river together. Louis wanted to say goodbye too, but as he jumped up, Julie's beautiful lily went flying into the water. Oh, Louis, shouted Julie, that was a special lily. They took the train back to the city, and even Louis was tired. The garden seemed like a distant dream. But in the middle of the night, Julie heard Louis whining to go outside. She tiptoed through the apartment. Beneath the balcony, something was sparkling on the river. What do you think was sparkling on the river? The flower. It's awesome. They ran outside and stretched out into the dark water. Julie pulled out a lily as bright as a silver star. Perhaps it's a little present from the water garden, she whispered. And as the city slept, she breathed in the sweet smell of the magical garden that she had gotten to see earlier that day. And that is the end. Let's go see if we can find some more paintings to look at.